Hello, Exiles. Long time no see. Welcome to another wonderful day in Rayclast, I suppose. Believe it or not, I have not stopped playing the game. I did stop streaming for a little while because I was pretty disillusioned with my minion build. It just felt slow, and it's Path of Exile. You need to be able to go fast at times. Since then, I have leveled the quarterstaff character. This isn't it, believe it or not. I have a much higher level one that I shelved for another reason, because after finally hitting level 80, getting my third ascendancy, you know, experiencing a bit more of the game, I've realized where the faults are in the endgame currently in Path of Exile. And they're there. What else do you have to say about it? There's some severe issues right now with the way survivability works based on what your character is and your defenses. I was actually playing a Pathfinder quarterstaff character, and it was working really well, believe it or not. The problem is that I was playing an evasion character in melee. The game really didn't appreciate that. I don't know. Like, I don't know what GGG plans to do, because spears are definitely going to be in the evasion part of the tree. So at some point, they're going to have to address the survivability issues for that and make that a functional, possible thing to do. For right now, I'm playing this character because I was honestly thinking about just shelving the game until some more changes were made, because the end game, while it's like it's there, you know, it's not like a Diablo situation where you don't really have much to do. There's a lot of flaws, right? I'm not excited about how long it takes to farm everything out, or the punishing nature of one portal for bosses that I don't know anything about yet, right? I'm gonna have to learn them, and I'm probably going to lose attempts that take many hours to get to very simple mistakes. But that's fine. I can handle all of that. It was the fact that my character was falling off in such a way where things were starting to kill me outright in a way that I really couldn't mitigate. I had like 2,000 health in tier 10 maps, which is just not enough. Like, you don't have the raw HP to make that work. I tried Iron Reflexes, which helped a bit, and I was like, oh, I could keep this going a little while longer, but the long-term problems were just too obvious. So now I'm on this character. I'm in Act 2 Cruel, and I already have 2,700 hit points. That's probably going to need some explanation if you don't immediately know what I'm doing to make this happen. There probably will be a build guide at some point, because I'm really enjoying this. And I think it's a fantastic character. Basically, you take Pillar of the Caged God. Here's like a double, or a corrupted one that I've got that I bought real quick. It was pretty cheap. I think this grand total of like 3 or 4 Exalted Orbs to make this happen. And as you can see, my tree is a little whacked right now because I've had to do a lot of travel. But the travel has been good because I am scaling incredibly hard off of strength. Absurdly. It's helping with my accuracy. I have 340 of it. I grabbed a little bit of attack speed here. I could probably spec out of this now because I have better nodes I can get over there. I should do that. I have a bunch of jewel sockets that are empty. I'm going to probably be putting armor melee damage jewels in these to kind of help with the fact that being so strength weighted means I'm going to lean towards armor. And I'm just not over here right now, although I may head over here at some point. The reason why this build works is this node. Well, this node too. I only need strength to use gems. Strength will work for Dex and Int too, which solves the quarterstaff issue. Obviously, strength scaling on the weapon itself. Also, Dex is very good. Int is... I'm happy to have it. You know, the whole thing just makes stats very valuable. And there's so many travel nodes in the game, that's just good. So I do all this, and then this node happens. And I didn't value this node very highly when I was doing my review of the Ascendancies, because I didn't understand the game yet. I didn't realize how little sources of max life there were going to be. So when strength gives you +2 life, and you have 340 of it, and then you double it, you have more life than everyone. That's actually just how it works. Only the Energy Shield characters and Mind Over Matter characters are able to kind of surpass me, but I have more flask support. I never have to worry about my mana getting blocked. I have a lot of potential with this character. I can even go for this later to juice kind of the elemental side of my defenses, and there's incredible long-term prospects for a character that is able to survive and learn boss fights, which is what I want it for. That is what I want it for. Otherwise, I'm just going to be trying to stack as much added damage as I can, get as much strength as I can. Hopefully the weapon carries me. I've heard stuff from people saying that it does work. Outside of strength, I'm mainly looking for things like attack speed crit. And a lot of these nodes are very nice because they come with other stats. Like, I mean, this says 25 dexterity. That's 10% attack speed. That's bigger than the node over here that I took that is specifically for attack speed. It's very good how this all comes together. I'm getting power charges. I'm going to be grabbing this, which is going to very dramatically shift how the build plays, potentially. I'm going to try it out. I don't know if I'm going to keep it, but there's crit nodes over here, so I thought I'd head this way. Obviously, I can go over this way for a bit more strength scaling. There's the beef node, and then there's, where is it? 5% increased strength there. I think there's a damage per strength node there, but that messes with your mana. A lot of potential. It's a little too early for me to, like, make a guide out of this, but I thought I'd talk about what I was doing. I have to say, I'm finding the game has rather good legs, but it's limited in scope, you know? We need some help. They definitely need to do some tuning at the top end with how survivability works, because it's very rough right now. I would say it's downright bad, the way life-based characters are kind of shafted in comparison to the topside tree defenses, because just having a big life pool is one of the best defenses you can have right now. And in fact, if you don't have it, it might be unplayable. In the case of my other character, there were enemies, basic white enemies, that would do slams that would do like 1,500 damage, and 2 of them would leap at me. If my evasion failed for 1 second, I died. And that was with acrobatics and like 50% evade. So I could evade the AoE hits. It just wasn't good enough, which that's saddening, right? But I'm moving through it. Build's good. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa. If you don't celebrate it, get fucked. No, I'm kidding. have a good day. I just wanted to let people know what I'm doing, because I am planning to advance this character quite a bit, and I will probably start streaming this one again soon for those who enjoyed the streams before. And also, I'm hoping to have a full build guide on how to do this yourself probably before the year is out. I started loving this character not that long ago. Also, Deathless, which in this game is pretty cool. What is it, 9 hours? 9 hours. I've left the character logged in a few times, so this is probably closer to like 6 hours, and I'm almost done with Cruel. Outside of the character stuff and what I've been up to, I've made some headway on the game that kind of comes in the form of tips. Especially for the Trial of the Sekhmet. I think this is rather common knowledge for a lot of people at this point, but in case you have missed the boat, honor resistance is a very silly stat. It will solve all of your problems. Like, it will aggressively solve all of your problems in Trial of the Sekhmet. You can basically get your, what is it, you need to do 3 floors? You can get that and play like an idiot the whole way if you have, like, I want to say 90% honor resistance. So pick up your gen coins, the lower level ones, save them, and then run them. And unlock more relic slots and good relics, and you'll actually trivialize the content. I don't like that the game is like that. I still think they should have the Ascendancy versions of that content be different, like with no rewards and no, like, downsides for both Ultimatum and Sanctum, and then you just fight the bosses and you get to learn the runes and stuff, which I think that would be significantly better than what we currently have. Until then, we have found ways, or we, being the community, has found ways to kind of deal with it, especially if you don't like the content, you're not very good at it. Honestly, I probably could have done it. I was a little bit being a baby about it, protesting. I can definitely handle Sanctum. I don't like it, and I don't like being forced into it. I think that was, like, it's kind of one of those things where, like, if I start doing it rather in the way they intend, I'm worried they're going to misconstrue that as meaning it's okay and I'm happy with it. It's almost like, that was satisfying. It's almost like I want to send the message that this is not great to the developers in whatever way I can. Outside of that, mapping has been mostly fun. The augury map is terrible, and I hate it. Like, a lot. I'm not alone in that, of course. The levers are bad. The overall design of the map is kind of awkward. It's mostly the levers are bad, though. And also, just, the map is so damn common. Why is augury everywhere? Has anyone else noticed that? Is that just me? Did I get a bad seed for my Atlas? Like, don't get me wrong, I like the toucan, but damn. Please just make that map rare or something, right? See it early, and then I don't want to see it for, I don't know, 40 levels. Which is like over level 100, so never again, I guess. Yeah, I'll stand by that. There are some maps I do like. Abyss was one that I liked a lot, I believe. Like, the good design is there. They just need to make more of the maps like the maps that are fun to run. And maybe just remove the kill the rares maps. Those are kind of okay early, but they get grading pretty quickly, because it really only takes a few experiences where you have to backtrack a long way for a rare, and you're just like, okay, well, this is a massive waste of time now. And you can't just leave, because you have to complete the map to progress. Which, that is, that's kind of like putting the concept, right, of what they want to achieve before the player's experience. Because clearly, there's something about pacing that they're going for to make that happen. But also, the least developed part of the game right now is the endgame. So a lot of this will probably get fixed and isn't terribly intended in its execution, right? It just needs to be iterated on. And I'm really, really looking forward to that, because there's like a little bit of balance, and then probably the rate at which we get to enter endgame encounters is way too slow. But outside of that, the game is actually quite fun. The endgame uniques are very nice looking. I kind of wished that they would make it so that uniques that we find early, like Pillar of the Caged God here, why can't I get this on the, like the expert long quarterstaff base? Wouldn't that be nice? So the way this build works on bosses can be a little awkward, because we really need to get our stuff spun up. There we go. Okay, so we're up to 5 now. We're doing wildly more damage. Character's not listening to me. Oh, he's fading. Okay. I was wondering why I wasn't able to pull power charges off him for a minute there.
I don't have time for this. Stand, bend to my will. Impede my enemy.
I do like the mechanic. That was nothing. I do like the mechanics of how getting power charges in the middle of a boss fight works, but I don't like that the siphoning strike, like, if it steals a charge, it lengthens the animation unless you roll. Rolling will, like, cancel it. So I don't really know why they're doing it that way. Also, Act 2 Cruel Boss that easy. I don't know if my HP ever really even moved. Very, very strong build already. And, like, this already has probably a lot more survivability than my other character. So that's pretty funny. Also a problem, though, right? Like, I would be fine with them nerfing this character in this build and a lot of the other things, but they need to bring up the stuff that's struggling more right now before they even begin to entertain that sort of stuff. It's Christmas. I know they're working on it. Anyway, that's all. This is the build that I'm working on. That's my thoughts on the game currently. I'm still very excited to play Path of Exile 2, and I think in probably a year, this game will belong in the same conversation as Path of Exile 1. Which is, that's a pretty cold statement, probably from the perspective of the developers. But the game needs so much right now. It really does. It needs so much, and the end game especially is gonna need, like, it's not just that the bones are good. The fine-tuning that's going to be required is rather extreme. And I don't even really mean that in a negative way, right? It's early access. The game isn't properly done, and we're missing a bunch of stuff in the game. But we're missing a bunch of stuff in the game, and all of that's going to have to be tuned as well. So I'm guessing in a year, that is probably when the game will fully release. I know they're saying 6 months, but they need some serious iteration. And I hope that they add more, like, major endgame things, like maybe Legion. They kind of hinted at that with Viper and Act 3. I hope they start adding that stuff alongside the new class releases, so that when that happens, it almost feels like we're kind of getting a new league when the big updates happen, because there's a lot to go yet. I mean, no sword, no spear, no dagger, no primal, no flail, no axe. That's a lot. Additionally, I hope a lot of the skills that we see here, where they kind of lock you into a single weapon, I hope these change. I want to see, you know, maybe some of these should also allow for axe, which is fine because they're not in the game yet. Obviously, mace and quarterstaff should have the least amount of overlap. This is a pure strength weapon. This is maybe the only no strength weapon. Well, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, have a good one, Exiles. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I hope to see you in the new year. Well, just before the new year, with a build guide that will knock your socks off. Because I get the feeling this character is gonna like do some absurd things, like break 5,000 raw life, have incredibly high resistances and armor, and just generally have decent damage to go along with it, which is the goal right now.